Hey guys, and welcome back to Biologue. Hope you're having a great day and a great week. My name is Sruthy, and just this year I scored an ATAR of 97.3. So there were a couple of things that I learned this year that I thought would be useful for you guys to know in case you are in the process of doing your VCE or HSC. So here are my top 5 tips to score a 95 plus ATAR or a 90 plus ATAR in year 12. Just a bit of a disclaimer before we begin. This video is in no way trying to give you a guaranteed method of getting a 95 plus ATAR. What worked for me may not work for you, and this video I think does have some beneficial tips that might help you up your game for year 12 or get better marks or grades than you expected. So that's how I recommend you guys take this video. Please take it with a grain of salt, and let's begin. Alright, so tip number 1 is to take subjects that you are actually interested in. Now, most of the time the subjects that you think sound interesting are actually what's good for you. For instance, in my case, HHD, Health and Human Development, was a very common subject that a lot of students took, but it sounded really interesting to me just because it had that biological basis, and it was a really good subject to take if you want to get into healthcare. So take subjects that you truly think would be beneficial for you, and take subjects that you know you're good at. For instance, if you know you're a maths person and you've been a maths person from year 7 to year 10 or year 12, ensure that you take those math subjects like specialist maths, methods, further, etc. Because in my case, I did health and human development. I didn't think it was going to be a very interesting subject at first, I'm not gonna lie, but I did end up scoring a raw 50 in HHD. And it was genuinely a subject that truly shocked me because of how applicable it was in real life and how truly interesting it was to me. So I would 100% recommend that you weigh your options out in terms of the subjects that you are interested in, one, and the subjects that you are naturally good at. Following up on this is university preferences. Now, it's really important to consider that some universities and some courses require a maths prerequisite or a chemistry prerequisite. For instance, if you know you want to do something related to the sciences or medicine, ensure that you consider those maths prerequisites like taking methods or taking specialist maths, and essentially do not ignore them, because once you do, it is a bit of an issue and it becomes quite difficult to actually get into the course and be even eligible for it. My second tip for you guys is about mindset. Now, depending on what type of person you are, if you are a competitive person, having a competitive mindset will 100% help you. Because if you have, let's say, a group of friends in your class who are looking to get like really high scores. For instance, if they're looking to get a 40 plus in a subject, and you also are one of those people aiming for a 40 plus in a subject, be friends with them. Actually make use of people in your class, because they can truly be the best resources if you make use of them properly. Actually ensure that you share your notes, share your resources, talk to them about how to improve specific things. For instance, if you are looking to get a higher mark in argument analysis, ensure that you ask them questions about how they got a higher mark in argument analysis. What tips do they have? Send them excerpts of your work, ask them to mark it, things like that. My third tip is to use teachers wisely. I think as students, we really need to get better at using teachers properly, and ensuring that we take their advice seriously, take constructive criticism, because teachers are truly your best friends in VCE. They are the best resource you will ever gain access to. I say this from personal experience. My teacher for health was such an amazing teacher. She was an angel. She truly helped me score the 50 in HHD. I give all my credit to her. So I truly think that when it comes to subjects that you really want to excel in, use your teachers by emailing them. Send them an email after school. Send them an email during your lunch break. I know it sounds a little bit tedious and it sounds like a lot of work, but if you show that you're willing to put in the effort, they will put in the effort back. Quick little thing to help with the lack of motivation that you might be experiencing when it comes to staying consistent is manifestation. Now, in year 12, I had a diary like this where I would essentially write that I need to put in 110% effort into each SAC, or I need to study as hard as I can to get this particular mark in the next test. Doing that truly helped me visualize what goals I had in the long term and have them specifically etched in my mind. Because if I had, for instance, something like this, let me just find a page that, I would essentially have this planner that said, try to get those ideal scores for every single SAC. It sounds so cringy, but it actually does work. Write it down, ensure that you have your goals properly fixated in your mind and actually work towards them. See this every single day. Put this somewhere on your wall. If you want to do like a physical vision board on your wall, do that, because looking at it every day truly helps. Moving on to tip number 4, work smarter but also harder. I know that a lot of people say work smarter but not harder. It's honestly a combination of both. If you want to do well in VCE, you want to do well in year 12, you need to work both smartly for the subject that you're working towards, essentially knowing what to do in that subject, knowing this exact techniques and strategies in order to get a specific grade for that particular subject. It does vary between different types of subjects, and also putting in the effort, because honestly nothing comes easy. Even if you know how to do a question, for instance, take your extended response, alright, for health and human development. I'm sure if you guys do humanities subjects, you have an extended response at the end of your exam, right, for psychology as well. So if you know how to do an extended response, but you don't practice how to do it and you don't get consistent feedback, you will be stuck at one level, alright. If you are getting, for instance, 6 on 10 for your extended response, and you know how to do it, that means that you're decent at it, but you go and then you give it to your teacher, you essentially don't take the feedback that she gives and you just do it again, you're gonna get a 6 again. So I think it's super important to realize that actually the constructive criticism that they're giving you needs to be applied again. So what I would do personally is that once I had the feedback from my teacher, whether it was written or verbal feedback, I would go home, I would redo that question, I would give it to my teacher, and then I would ask her to mark it again. Each extended response I would do at least twice, and I think that helped me. If you don't want to do the same question again, take a different question and try the same technique. Take a different question, apply the feedback that your teacher has given you. Tip number 5 is to focus on the exam. Now I know that a lot of people say that SACs are important. You need to pay attention to every single SAC because that determines a lot of your final grade. But the exam is actually worth about 50 to 60% of your study score, right? So you need to make sure that you are actually doing well on your exam. And even if, for instance, you get a disappointing SAC mark, you get something that was a lot lower than you expected, it's fine. I genuinely wish I knew this, and I genuinely wish I actually took it seriously, because after a disappointing SAC, your girl was a mess, pretty much. I was really upset after each and every disappointing SAC. But one thing that I want to, emphasize is that for my psychology exam, I was consistently getting about A's, which again is not bad, but it's definitely not one of the top marks, right? But despite that, in the exam, I think I did pretty well, and actually I did a lot of work for the exam, and I tried really hard for the exam to ensure that my skill set was at the top, and I essentially had all my techniques very efficiently practiced. And then I got a 43 on my psychology study score. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that even if you get a disappointing mark at the start of the year, which is very common considering that you're just into year 12, it's alright, it's gonna be fine. You just need to work consistently, put in that effort, stay through with it till the end, and I'm sure the results will pay off. Coming on to my final point, which is about taking breaks. Now, I was known for being notoriously bad at taking breaks in school. I was someone who, because of the fact that I just enjoyed being in that studying space and it was comfortable, I never really stepped away from it. And now that I think about it, the fact that my teachers were constantly telling me, oh, you need to take a break, you're gonna burn out, was actually true. And by the end of year 12 in term 3, right before exams, I did burn out. So make sure that you take breaks, especially in term 3. That's one time where you need to physically step out from your studying environment. Ensure that you detach, alright? This is so important. Make sure that you have a designated study space, and when you take a break, detach. Physically go out of that space, go into another room, play some music in the other room, go out for a walk, do anything that is not study related whatsoever. Go out with your family. Tell your family to drag you out of the room. I know it sounds so bad, but ensure that they know that it's a priority for you to take breaks, and do not stop what you actually loved doing at one point. Don't give up your hobbies, or don't give up your non-study commitments just because you're in year 12. I think that's so important, and it's something that I personally did take for granted, and I kind of regret it. So I would 100% recommend that you guys take breaks, chill out. It's not that big of a deal. It's gonna be fine. It's just a year, and really take care of yourself. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, do make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Dialogue, and let me know what video ideas you guys have in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.